What should not be considered okay, but is often encouraged. Not sleeping over working. I'm in grad school and it seems like a competition. Who has the most jobs, least sleep, toughest committee? I even find myself judging people who are tired working 15 hours a week and taking 2 classes when I just spent 15 hours on campus in one day. It's as if you're not working hard if you don't have 2 jobs, 1 internship, 3 classes, 3 committee obligations, and are knee deep in a project for publication. We shouldn't be glorifying or romanticizing this. We should be encouraging and promoting healthy, balanced, mindful participation as much as possible. Although, that could be a whole different conversation about tuition cost, but I'll leave that for another time. Working more than 40 hours a week unless you really need more time to finish your work. Being shamed because you leave at 5 when your work is finished is bulls. I totally agree with this. I met a couple of my friends from college recently who now work in Microsoft and they seemed so proud that they hadn't gone home in 2 days. I didn't know how to respond to that. One of them is married too. Yelling or acting like an butthole gets you what you want. I used to work in customer service and this happened all the time. Customer, may I please have a refund? Worker, number. Customer, I want to speak to your manager, you freaking cunt face. Manager, okay, here's your refund. Having strong, unchangeable opinions. I believe in and nothing will ever change my mind. Strong ethics or willful ignorance? Sometimes you might be wrong, but you'll never know if you don't listen to other points of view. And aside from that, changing your mind is seen as a weakness, even when presented with new facts or evidence. I've heard people argue that this is why the scientific method is wrong. If a conclusion was correct, then it should remain correct no matter what. People who change their conclusion are no longer credible. The philosophy of the customer is always right. It has encouraged people to act like awful spoiled brats. And now we have a society full of entitled idiots who know if they carry on enough they will be rewarded somehow. I work for a company that believes you should kill them with kindness and it is absolute bulls. Being at the front desk, I get crap on constantly by ignorant brats, and if I complain to a manager or doctor they say, well, just smile and be nice till they leave. Number, if you are screaming in my face and throwing a tantrum, I should be able to say please leave. Not oh sure, what else do you want me to do for you? Bend over backwards and kiss your feet. Pretty sure you'll get upvoted by anyone who has worked in any service job. Customers are very often very wrong. Social media therapy. A lot of almost meaningless enabling happens to justify bad decisions. You can do what you want. Frick them. No, they can't do what they want. It doesn't work like that. They can do what they want. They just have to be prepared to face the consequences for doing so. Going to college, uni because you feel obligated to, not because of any practical goal in mind. Sure, the experience might be valuable or transferable. It could also put you behind thousands of dollars right out of high school and be completely useless. JCs are seriously underutilized when it comes to this. I paid like 1.5k for 20.5 credits. I know what I want to major in and where I'm transferring and everything, but if I didn't I could frick around and try out different fields without acquiring a fuckton of debt. Being selfish or self-centered. Looking out for number one is fine, but when you start fricking over other people in the service of number one, you become a pile of number two. It's like you always said, Rick, gotta look out for number one. I'm number one, you butthole. Not listening to your doctor because you feel your idea will work better. If you feel strongly for or against some treatment, discuss it with your doctor and they can explain why they feel you need it. Just don't take it on yourself after you've left to decide. Examples that come to mind would be people thinking they need antibiotics for the cold or flu. Antibiotics fight bacteria and won't have any effect on these viruses. People stopping their antibiotics because they feel better. Finish the course to kill all of the bacteria, don't create more drug-resistant ones. Facebook seems fond of this, but giving up your chemo for your alternative internet method, be it injecting cannabis oil or some herbal cure, by all means discuss them with your doctor if you feel they may help, but don't just pass them by and begin your own treatment by yourself. Nerfing the world for your children. It may seem like it's what good parents should do, but all you do is make your child a useless whining snot that can't handle the least amount of pressure or hardship. Childhood OPPLS nerf. Just tough it out. Number. If you're sick or injured, you need to rest and recover. I partially blame the economy for this one. God knows I used to go to work sick out of fear of being fired. I am sick at work right now. Apparently puking isn't a good excuse to miss work, and if I miss work I have to pick up a double shift for the person who covered for me and give them the day off, which I can't do because I also have class. Gotta love working in a state where you can be fired for no reason at all. Mostly my qualms about US culture, being a gringo Yankee myself. Going into work sick or not taking days off for illness or stress. Or children maternity leave for that matter. You're getting everyone sick. Bragging about how much they work and how long it's been since you've taken a vacation. Frick off, that's nothing to brag about. Go ahead and waste your life away at your desk. When at age 50 you be about how fast life went by, it'll be completely your fault. Bragging about failing a test or getting bad grades. I can't wrap my brain around how the ones willing to shirk responsibilities are more popular or seen as cool at younger ages. Accruing debt and living beyond your means. No, you don't owe it to yourself to drive that BMW or live in a house that is 3-4x your annual salary just because you finally have a job. It's a great way to set yourself up for a life of financial stress which compounds into many other problems. I'd love to live somewhere where a decent house is only 3-4x your annual salary. College education being a business. Colleges charging a crap ton of money based on demand, rather than working with the government to keep tuition low so that more kids may attend higher education. The notion that college after high school is the only track that doesn't lead to poverty and failure. On top of that, the incredible stigma over vocational education. The encouragement of mental health stigma over the encouragement of learning and understanding mental health. Politicians widely being accepted as lying, money-run people, yet we appoint them to voice for everyone. This is accepted, but also I can't think of how to change that without a huge movement, i.e. everyone refusing to vote. Rather than working with the government to keep tuition low. Government involvement with financial aid is the reason tuition is so expensive. Parents not disciplining their dang kids. People today act like if you raise your voice at a kid you are a horrible human being and parent. I'm not saying you should beat your dang kids, but this crap where parents tell their kids to do something and they defy them is ridiculous. Every time I see a parent count to 5 I laugh. Even better is when parents punish kids for disobeying them by like taking away an iPad for 20 minutes. Jesus Christ. When I was young, if I knew the consequences of my actions were 20 minutes without entertainment, I would have done whatever the frick I wanted. That parents need to always put their kids' happiness above their own. The result is most likely just a spoiled kid and an unhappy marriage. This may hold true for those parents who don't know how to maintain overall happiness in their families. There is no parents versus children. There's a family unit. Asking couples when they are going to have kids. They might not want them. They might not be able to have them. They might be trying already. You just don't know, and it's rude to pry into something that personal. Plus, it's essentially asking someone, so, when are you and your so going to frick without birth control? Or they might have had 3 miscarriages they didn't tell you about because you're just Facebook friends. Saw that train wreck happen a few months ago. Cheating. I've seen too many co-workers and friends encouraging others to go for it. It's a disgusting thing to do, and I believe way too many songs, shows, and movies romanticize it as a passionate thing of love. It's really just 2 crappy people fricking some poor man woman over. Pain is weakness leaving the body. Number. Pain is your nervous system letting you know that you should stop what you're doing or more serious harm will occur. Marine here. Frick that crap. If something hurts, I'm going to fricking medical. Me. I think I just broke a rib. Others. Hahaha, Veal Stress 77 has sand in his clit. Me. Frick all of you, I'm going to medical. Not as serious as the others here, but girls expecting the guy to ask them out. I know I'm talking to Reddit here, but I've still seen girl redditors who say they're too shy to ask a guy out, or they're worried about being judged or afraid of rejection. But that's exactly what guys have to go through too. No one's going to think you're S for asking people out, and if they do, just keep those Regina Georges out of your life. It shouldn't be a guy's job to kickstart the relationship. I actually like it more when a girl is the one to take initiative because it shows she's confident enough to go for what she wants. Male here. Having a girl ask me out would be great. I am yet to experience it as I have always been the one to ask, but I have only the tiniest shreds of confidence and a side of anxiety, so it would be nice to have someone else take the load off sometimes. It's not okay to teach a boy that he can never cry. Boys don't cry. That's not true. Humans cry. The Western world, pretty much everywhere, men are taught that they can never show weakness. Frick that. Every person in the world should have a time and place where it's okay for them to be weak. When men are taught to never show weakness, it's difficult to handle emotions healthily and it can come out in unhealthy ways like violence and self-harm. I will never tell my son that boys don't cry. I will teach my kids that there are some situations where you can be weak and others where you need to be strong. Sensationalism. Get lost when you're having kids 4 times at a family reunion. Oh my god. This constant persecution. Someone called you once to see if you want to buy a subscription to the newspaper. Take Emmy off your freaking list, butthole. Someone handed you pamphlet about Jesus once. Just leave Emmy alone. Guys, an innocent interaction is not the same thing as constant persecution. Your family members probably just don't know you that well and are making small talk with the aim of finding common ground. That telemarketer is making $7.25 an hour to be harassed by people all day. Their lives are miserable. Source: I worked in a call center for nearly 5 years, and it was a good one. But finally, if you truly believe that the only way to save someone's soul from eternal damnation is to help them find Jesus, what kind of person would you be if you never even tried? No one is out to get you. Stop pretending to be victims, and stop encouraging other people to be victims too. There are real issues that need your attention. Never thought I'd read a comment like this on Ask Reddit. Having opinions on facts. No, I don't give a frick that you think that global warming is a myth. You singing to yourself na 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 na, I don't believe it won't make it go away. On the flip side, people acting like the opinions that come out of their mouth are actually facts. Cheating in a relationship. Whether it's emotionally or physically, the relationship is fricked. But a lot of people seem to ignore it or condone it. Don't cheat. Just grow a pair and get out of the relationship if you're not happy. Somehow in the US, we have grown to accept and even encourage ignorance. People are proud that they don't read books or the newspaper. And, no, this is not a good trend. Global warming isn't convenient for you. Just simply say I don't believe in that. The other week I was genuinely asked if I believed in dinosaurs. They asked like it was a matter of faith. I said yes. Supporting any business industry that you disagree with simply because it is easy or convenient. Hate fast food places because of the poor nutritional values. Stop going to them and support someone else. Think most news stations, Fox News, CNN, etc., and reality TV are crap. Stop turning them on. Dislike the business practices of some clothing companies. Stop buying from them, and so on. Undisciplined small dogs. Just because they are small they don't have the right to aggressive to me or my dog. If a little bratty small dog comes up to my shepherd and begins yapping and nipping at her heels, she is going to get annoyed and at the very least turn around and growl or chase the little crap away. The owner doesn't need to come running over screaming, picking up the little dog and then start yelling at my dog for showing the other dog its place. Obviously this doesn't apply to all small shoots, but in my experience very many. Being late for everything. It's not just encouraged. Punctuality is actively shat on. Oh, you're always on time. It's because you're lame and have no life. LOLZ no. It's because I'm not a rude dickhead with poor time management. The excuses for lateness, and people's active acceptance of it, drive me absolutely insane. If I say 2 PM I'm not being cute. I don't really mean 2:45 or 3 PM. I mean 2 PM. Or preferably 1:55 PM. I have kids, I deal with traffic. I still manage to get to things on time or early. It's even more insane when these people have kids. School start and end times are set in stone. You can't just show up whenever. But I know plenty of parents whose kids are late to school 9 times out of 10. I assume their kids are also picked up late. Telling thin people to just eat more. Your mom is on the phone with your aunt and when you walk by, Your mom tells your aunt you want to talk to her. Not cool, mom. Not cool. College degree with no career job in mind. Going to college for the sake of college is a fast track to debt. No one cared that I was undeclared 2+ years. They said you'll figure it out. By they, I mean everyone I knew. I wasn't advised against college until my junior year. Infidelity and cheating on partners. Most people I know have done it or experienced it. It destroyed my long marriage. I've never done it. Everyone's circumstances are different. But I doubt there's ever been anyone who was proud glad said, "Know what? The best thing I ever did was cheat on my spouse." When you cheat on your spouse or partner, you are also lying, destroying trust, degrading your character and hurting those who love you and care about you. The chemical reaction of illicit relationships, having someone else validate or be into you or pay attention to, can be intoxicating. Emotional affairs happen every day. It's how you handle them that shows your true character. P.S. My ex was ultimately encouraged to cheat and live it up by her sexaholic, gay guy friend that slept with a different Craigslist guy practically every night. Political attack ads. I literally do not understand. It's the most childish thing I've seen in the professional world. It makes them look like 15-year-old girls. So immature. Like the conservative attack ad on Trudeau about his hair. His hair. Who approved this to be broadcast by a potential leader of our country? His hair. Mathematical illiteracy. After 4 years of trying to teach high schoolers math, only to be told by every other teacher, other than those of math and science, counselor, administrator and parent, often in front of students, that they never understood math or hated math. It's no wonder the students don't even bother to try learning it. I can only imagine what would happen if I started telling people, well, reading was always too hard for me. It's not that people are bad at learning math, it's that people are bad at teaching it. I say this as a math teacher. Teaching math effectively is hard, so a lot of people don't even try or simply can't do it. Result, kids hate math. Complaining to get free things. Some companies have swung so far in favor of customer service that they literally encourage and incentivize people to complain and even lie about their experience to get a discount. The customer isn't always right, and giving in every single time they complain isn't helping, it's hurting your business. Putting your nose to the grindstone and forgetting that you work in order to enjoy life. Work should never come first to life. It defeats the purpose of why you are working. Women hitting men. I don't have a problem with women defending themselves. What I do object to is women slapping their husbands for not being Mr. Perfect. I really object to other women cheering them on when it happens. Every single time there's been a high-profile news story on a woman beating the crap out of a man, or cutting his dong off, or setting him on fire, half the female columnists on the planet start whooping and clapping "you go, girl," while the other half write long essays on why Joe Average deserves to get a fractured skull because women don't have the vote in Uzbekistan. I object to the idea that it's okay for one group to attack another group whenever things don't go their way. I also think teaching girls that hitting men is empowering is a dumb idea, because sooner or later she will run into somebody that won't stand there and take it. Excluding weird people. Very often the weird people are kind and open, but because they're not acting exactly like the norm or socially incompetent, they are treated like outcasts. Happens especially during high school and college, and that's when it has the worst effect on people. This drives me nuts. People do this at my workplace. Everyone is over 30. The weird girl gets crap on by everybody despite the fact that she is much better at what she does than they are, and she's nice. It's awful. We're not in high school. Grow up and treat people like human beings. Gaming the system, or finding loopholes to cheat with the philosophy of society. Just because we have free healthcare is not a reason to go see your doctor every day. Just because you can hide your money in Switzerland doesn't mean you should. The lad culture often found in Britain today, if you can call it a culture. To me, it looks terribly uncultured. It's become the cool thing to do, drinking copious amounts of alcohol and generally being a public nuisance, and they usually have stupid hair. Toxic masculinity. One of the ways patriarchy negatively affects men. It is the socially constructed attitudes that describe the masculine gender role as violent, unemotional, sexually aggressive, and so forth. The pervasive idea of male-female interactions as competition, not cooperation. The pervasive idea that men cannot truly understand women, and vice versa. And following, that no true companionship can be had between different sexes. The expectation that real men are strong, and that showing emotion is incompatible with being strong. Anger is either framed as the exception to the rule, or as not an emotion. Relatedly, the idea that a real man cannot be a victim of abuse, or that talking about it is shameful. Men are just like that. The expectation that real men are keenly interested in sex, want to have sex, and are ready to have sex most if not all times. The idea that real men should be prepared to be violent, even when it is not called for. For example, a common response to women's tales of experiencing street harassment is for a man who's listening to say, "If I was there, I would have punched the harasser." This is problematic. Discussed at length in a Go Make Me a Sandwich blog entry. Male protagonist bingo. A study in cliches. Though not reinforced much in fictional media, in real life it is widely expected that a man would abandon his pregnant girlfriend, and is incapable and or unwilling to take responsibility. Emasculation. The idea that there is a range of feminine interests and activities a real man would not hold, and that disprove a man's masculinity regardless of his other actions. Taking a picture of someone that needs help rather than actually helping them. This is especially apparent when it comes to fist fights. You'll see little kids wailing on each other, one of them getting thoroughly beaten up, and 10 or so of their friends just recording it all. Some kids have died this way. It's disgusting. Everyone's opinion is equally valid. To Paulie. Quote Dara O'Brien. A man that studies dentistry does not have a debate with a man who removes his teeth with string and a door. Obviously that hyperbole, but while having a position on the global economy, politics or impacts of certain scientific research is good, it doesn't mean what you have to say is worth anything. So what if you did a year on the topic at uni, wrote a paper on it and then forgot about it until the topic arises in the mainstream? You don't have enough but available to challenge someone who's spent their life career researching the topic. Getting married too young. Very common here in Wisconsin. You graduated high school, time to get married and have kids immediately. Saying I was never any good at math as an excuse for giving up on anything involving numbers, logic, or rational thought. It's okay to struggle with math, but don't be proud of that crap. Be a little bit embarrassed, and try to get better. This will likely get me yelled at, but the idea, at least in the US, that being young gives you free rein to do whatever you want to do, no matter how stupid it is. Let's drive drunk. It's not really a problem till 30. Let's fight and adopt at-risk behavior because we're young. I went through high school with people who were doing coke and H because I won't be 17 forever. But you stay dead forever. You keep hepatitis forever. To put it shortly, I've spent my whole life in risk assessment. No, Jerry, I will not get in a car to go to Taco Bell at 4 AM when we both know you're S-faced. No, I will not have unprotected sex with strangers. No, I'm not going to jump across a freaking building. We have a strange culture where absolutely idiotic behavior is accepted and passed off as youthful misadventure. And then, as if the free pass wasn't enough, we actually make these people who die doing stupid things into saints. In my town, a 16-year-old drove his lifted pickup truck down a back, winding, fog-filled road with a speed limit of 35 at 70 miles per hour. He rolled the car, was ejected because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, then was rolled over by the car he was ejected from. They removed him from life support a week later. My school and town make Facebook pages saying I miss and have student meetings. Then the interviews with his friends come out, and it's all love and respect. Not once does anyone, including the officers involved, call out the fact that he was driving recklessly and could have even survived that if he had his seatbelt on. Nope. Youthful accident having fun. Fun is going for a drive, seeing a movie, playing games, going to a party. Fun isn't being idiotic and getting sainthood for being a moron. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.